Hi, Zareen. This is Hannah from Seesaw. I was just wondering if you were able to make me the host for this session.
Yes, just made you the host. Let me know if that came through.
Okay. Okay, I think so. Awesome. I'll get started in 1 minute. Make sure everything's done on my back end. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Let me share my screen. All right, let me make this big. All right, so now you guys can see my screen. If you have not signed in yet today, please do so now. All right. All right, and here is a reminder from your district about how you will get paid for today. So just go ahead and take a minute to read that. All right, well, welcome everyone. I'm so happy that you are all here today. If you all could introduce yourself in the chat, share your name and grade level you teach. I would love to get to know all of you who I'm talking to today. As you guys introduce yourself in the chat, make sure you chat it to everyone, not just me.
Hannah, the chat only shows your name and Leonard De Jesus. It doesn't have an everyone option.
Huh. I'm not sure if the district leader in here is able to change that. Let's see.
The host should be able to change it.
Oh, let's see. It's over here on my screen. Let me see if I can change this.
It was fixed.
It was
or-
changed.
Oh, good. Perfect. All right. Thanks for introducing yourself. Let me go ahead and pull up the chat. It was not pulled up on my screen. All right. I see some kindergarten. Susan from kindergarten. There we go. Now I can start seeing all of your messages. There we go. Christina, 6th and 7th grade. Joseph, 6 through 8. Hello. Welcome. Awesome. Librarian, 1st grade. I was a 1st grade teacher as well. Para. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. So in this session today, you will learn how to set up digital portfolios to capture and document student learning over time. Today, you will also have time to hop into Seesaw to explore. So please make sure you log into your Seesaw account while we're getting ready to begin. And this session goes beyond the basics. So if you're new to Seesaw, stick around and I'll provide you with some training resources at the end of the session to get you started using Seesaw. This session is also being recorded and I will be able to send over all of the resources as well as our recording after the session. So you'll be able to receive that. All right, so now that I've gotten to know a lot of you in the chat, I've been reading all of these come in. I will introduce myself. My name is Hannah Aberze, and I am a training specialist here at Seesaw. So just like you, I was a classroom teacher for 7 years as well before I started working here. I taught 3rd grade and 1st grade. So I see some of you 3rd and 1st grade teachers as well in the chat. And I taught in Chicago. And then I went on to become a coach to help teachers implement instruction. So now I'm here and I'm so excited to be with you all this morning and glad that you all are here too. All right, so as we begin this session, I really want you to think about your purpose for creating digital portfolios. So maybe are they required by your school or district? Are you going to use them for maybe 1 unit, a trimester, or just some assessments? Setting this purpose before we begin will allow you to really focus on ensuring that you set up your portfolios to meet your needs. So in the chat, I would love to have you share out why you'll be creating digital portfolios with your Seesaw classroom today. I know I would set up some digital portfolios for my centers if I was still in the classroom. If I was in the older grades, I might do it by semester. To share as a resource. Assessments for TK, love that. Awesome. Well, continue to think about this as we go through the slides and really think about how you're going to use this in your own classroom. Ooh, I love that. Students can self-assess, record motor skill, and reflect. Yes, there will be a lot of reflection. Reading and writing assessments, that's huge. We'll be covering that. Ooh, I love that. Self-reflection for the whole year. Progress monitoring for IEP goals, that is huge. Awesome. There's a lot of great ideas in this chat. So make sure you're checking that out. All right, let's move on. So here we are today. Seesaw digital portfolios really allow students to creatively capture their learning in one place using all of the multimodal learning tools here at Seesaw. So students can take a photo of their work. They can record a video. They can upload their work from another platform, or they can even create on a blank canvas. So students can use the microphone to add in their voice and reflect on their development as a learner as well. And then teachers are easily gathering evidence of student growth on learning goals in Seesaw. Families are connected to the learning and can celebrate the growth and achievements of their students, strengthening that home-school connection that we all know is so, so important. So today, you will learn how to use Seesaw to capture and document learning over time with digital portfolios. We'll learn how to set up and use digital portfolios in Seesaw by first creating folders and thinking about how to add evidence and reflection. And then finally, we'll learn how to view Seesaw portfolios year after year to see that student growth. So the first step in setting up Seesaw as a digital portfolio is to create folders so that the portfolio is organized. So not all posts added to Seesaw need to be part of the digital portfolio, but the folders will really make it easier to see what the students demonstrate their performance over time in one place. You'll want to create your folders before having students reflect in Seesaw. That's what we're going to do today, is set up your folders for you so that they have the correct folders to add their work to and their digital portfolio stays organized. So let's learn how to do this. So to create a folder, and you'll have time to do this later, I'm just going to walk you through the steps. You will tap the wrench in the top right of your Seesaw class. You will then scroll down to the folders section and then tap on manage folders. Then you'll tap create a folder. And next, this is where you'll type the name of the folder you want to create. So you might create a digital portfolio folder for different times of the year, or maybe for different subjects like this math portfolio folder. One trick that I love to use is to help our youngest learners and multilingual learners is to add an emoji before the name of the folder so that students are able to easily find these folders. Choose a color and tap the green check. Then you'll repeat this process for all of the folders that you want to create. You'll then tap create a folder. And next, let's see, we already had that slide. Did that, we chose the color, perfect. Now, when we create and assign an activity that you want students to add to their digital portfolio, you'll make sure you tag a folder to that specific activity. This is so when students complete the activity, it automatically gets added to their folder. This is the best because it keeps everything super organized for a type A teacher like me. I really like this. Once you've tapped assign, you'll tap choose next to the folders. And then there you'll select a folder and tap save. So if you're familiar with Seesaw, this will look a little different than last school year because our team has made some really exciting changes and improvements to how you assign activities. You will need to make sure to turn on the step for students to add posts to folders so that they are also able to do this. That is so when students add their own end of unit or reflection work by posting to their journal with the green add button, they can also tag the post to the correct folder themselves. So again, just like any routine in your classroom, let's say you're having students turn in a paper to a specific colored bin, you'll have them turn in their Seesaw work to a specific folder, just like any routine in your classroom. Again, for this, you'll just go to the class settings, the wrench in the top right-hand corner. You'll scroll to the folder section. You'll select show add folder step, and you'll select students and teachers. So, all right, before you try this out for yourselves, I'm going to jump into my Seesaw account and show you what this looks like live, okay? So let's go over to my Seesaw account. Give me a thumbs up if you can see this, just so I make sure I'm sharing my whole screen. Yes, thank you. All right, so I'm going to be in my Seesaw demo account. Again, I'm going to hit the wrench in the top right-hand corner. I'm going to scroll down to folders. I'm going to hit manage folders. Then you'll see I have a lot of folders already created in my account. You'll see here are some ones with the emojis out front for those emerging learners. But here I'm going to create a new folder. So something that was useful in my classroom was a folder for reading centers. So I might create that here. This is for my reading center. So my students will know every time you complete work within that reading center, it is going to go into this folder. This is going to keep everything super organized. And just like if you had a bin in your classroom where paperwork went, maybe it's that blue bin. I'm going to create that blue folder. And then I'm going to hit that check mark. Oh, it already exists. Well, let me rename it. I have a lot of reading folders probably. There you go. So now it's in here. You'll see also if you want to delete a folder or rename a folder, you'll hit this little caret tool. And then I can either right here, remove folder from class, or I can maybe make this math. I want to make it more specific. I might put math fractions. Okay. So then that updated that for me. And there's my reading center folder. So again, you can customize all of your folders however you want them to look. That next step to make sure that students can also add and put their work into the specific folder is to go back. Let me just start over for you. You're going to go back to the wrench button. You are going to scroll down again to folders. And then right here, you're going to see the default is that only teachers can add activities and post to folders. You are going to want to make sure, this is a very important step, you change this to students and teachers. You definitely are going to want the students to be able to add to those folders as well. Again, this will make sure things stay organized. So you'll click on that and then you're done. You did it. You created a folder. You made sure students and teachers could add to that folder and you're done. So
Hannah, I have a question. How do you add an emoji?
oh, good question. I will get that information and I'll put it in the chat for you by the end of the session, or I'll send it after.
Thanks.
But I'll make sure to touch on that for you.
Thank you.
Great question. So let's go ahead. Now it's your turn. So you can go ahead and follow the steps on the screen. Don't worry if you decide later you want to rename your folders. You can easily do so in your class settings. I'm going to go ahead and set my timer for 5 minutes for you all to explore, set up some folders, talk with partners about what folders you think would be useful in your class. And then again, I'll be here if you have any questions. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and set my timer for 5 minutes. You can go ahead and go explore in your own Seesaw account. All right, I see Patricia, you have an old account from your previous school. How can I start over? I don't see my folder I created either. Did you log in with your new school account?
I work for SFUS. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I work for SFUSD, but I'm in a new role this year. So it's just, it's still linked to me because I'm still in SFUSD with the same email otherwise, but it shows That's why I kind of privately chatted you. I don't know if that bothers
Oh.
everybody else, but it just
Oh,
shows me, like an old classes. And then when I created like just a random reading comprehension folder and I go into, like looking at the folders, it just says, I can see it, but it says no results. So I wasn't sure if I could delete the 3 classes I've already created, you know what I mean? And then I would start new. I just want to use this for resources for the teachers I'll be working with to show them how to do it.
totally. You should be able to delete your old classes and create a new class up there.
Great. Thank you.
Of course.
Hi. I'm just starting to get my Seesaw set up, and I was teaching high school last year, and it's my second year this year. So I'm really new, and it's my first time doing elementary. So I just wanted to like kind of ask clarifying questions of like Seesaw is something that like most elementary schools are using. Is it like Google Classroom for like more upper grade kids? Because I'm wondering how much they know already and how much I need to like, walk them through like the whole Seesaw like world as I kind of start the school year.
Great question. We definitely do integrate with Google Classroom, and for upper grades, you can add links from like Adobe Spark and things like that. I'm going to be covering a lot of that in the next few slides. So you'll be able to walk students through how to do this. They catch on super quickly. Seesaw is very user friendly. So as I go through the slides, I think you'll be able to catch on to how to create these different activities and how to show students how to also create these activities. Someone's on mute. But yes, we integrate with Google Classroom, and there's a lot of ways that students can add to their digital portfolios to show their learning.
And I'm teaching art, so even elective teachers actively use Seesaw.
Absolutely. Yes. And students will be able to switch between the different classes. So when students go to art, they'll be able to click on your art class in Seesaw, and they'll be able to see all of the activities that you assign them. They'll also be able to upload their own journal posts to your Seesaw page. So yes, great question.
Hannah, I have a question. My school shows my past school of last year. Do I just contact my IT then to have it changed? It's still the same. It's the students from last year.
So your new students are not in your Seesaw account yet?
No. And I'm not a classroom teacher. I'm the librarian, but we do a lot of portfolios. And I wanted to do it with the younger students. I've been doing it with Google Slides and with other platforms, but I want to do it with a K3, and I want to do Seesaw because that's what they're using in their classroom. So I wanted to do Seesaw in the library as well.
Yeah,
Still attached to
absolutely.
my old school.
So I would definitely talk to whoever the district lead is. I can follow up after, but they should be able to get your classes set up for you already in Seesaw.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Hannah. So in terms of setting up the classes, I will be teaching multiple classes at the same grade level. So when I create a class, that's literally like, I need to come up with some naming system, huh? Like if I have, because I'm teaching pre-K all the way to 5th and multiple classes of each. So that's up to me in the class name to come up with something, or is there a way to get organized?
Yep, you'll be able to create different classes. Maybe it's for 3rd grade, 3A, 3B, and 3C, so that you can stay super organized and upload specific work to that class. Yep. Good question. All right. I did, let's see, for all of the teachers who are looking to use emojis in their folder names, if you're on a Mac, You'll press Control Command Space. I'll put this in the chat. You'll click the input menu in the menu bar, and then you'll choose Show Emoji and Symbols. I'll put this in the chat so you can refer to it later. This is if you're on a Mac.
And most of my students will be using their Chromebooks to use Seesaw.
Mhm.
So how do they add the emoji? Is it the
This,
same?
I'm talking right now about having teachers add the emoji to their folder names. So this is specifically for teachers. If you're not on a Mac and if students have access, you can also use this website and copy and paste the emoji pictures from here. I'll also put that in the chat.
Thank you. I have a specific question. Maybe I can wait until the end, but I like to create folders that allow me to show parents doing conferences, to show, to highlight the kids' work. So I need some help with or some advice on how to organize the folder so that I don't go crazy, like looking into each folder and pull out the pieces of work.
Great question. I'm going to cover that shortly. So if I still don't answer it by the end, make sure to ask me again. But I think you'll get your answer, your question answered. All right. So my 5 minutes is up. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. Don't worry, we'll be going back into the Seesaw account at the end to show you some more things. So let me go ahead and move on to the next part, which is digital portfolio, using digital portfolio for student reflection on their learning and the learning process. So again, students will use the multimodal tools in Seesaw to add reflection when submitting work to their digital portfolios so that you, the student, and their families can hear from the student and how they feel about the learning that took place. So looking at digital portfolios, it can include things like, for example, final results and summaries from the scientific process, students proving their understanding of concepts in math, students documenting their language acquisition in writing, reading, and speaking, students sharing final projects created in other tools, like I was saying, such as Adobe Spark. And then these are just some examples of the many possibilities for what to include in digital portfolios. We're going to dive in deeper to some specific activities. Again, Seesaw digital portfolios follow students not only for the year, but the entire journey at your school. So students, families, and teachers can really see their growth over time, year after year after year. All right, for our first example, one of the easiest ways to start building a portfolio is for you as the teacher to use the green add button to capture learning. This could be for a student presentation, an individual assessment, or in a class project that shows their understanding for a concept taught in class. So in the case you see on the screen, when administering reading assessments, whether it's sight words or a fluency assessment, teachers must do these one-on-one to be able to hear students. Instead, this teacher has her students sit next to her with their guided reading book. She then opens Seesaw and snaps a picture of the page the students will be reading. Then the student taps the microphone and begins reading the text. So the teacher will simply tap the green add button, tag the student when they are done. This allows the teacher to complete their assessment and also creates an audio documentation of the student's fluency that will be saved and added to their Seesaw portfolio. Again, this would be great for teachers to refer back to. It'll be shared with connected family members. Families can now hear their students' reading abilities, which helps them better understand their development and how to help them also at home.
I have a question,
Yes.
and I know it's probably been answered already, but I work as a TSA and I visit a lot of classrooms and I
Mhm.
have my own Seesaw classroom, but I'm not able to get in. I think I need to be assigned by the principal before
Mhm.
I can enter. Is that what needs to happen for a new year?
Yes.
Okay.
So whoever,
Okay.
like the tech person or district person at your school will be able to help you get that set up.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, totally fine. For Joseph, my students are deaf. Will this allow video to capture? Yes. So we have a bunch of multimodal learning tools on Seesaw. The video capabilities would be great in that case. All right, let's move on. Students can also, just like you as the teacher, students can also use the green add button to post learning that is not connected to an activity. So they tap on the green add button in their journal, like you see there. And then here is all of the multimodal learning tools I've been referring to. So let's start by showing how students can use the photo tool. They'll click on it. This student took a picture in Seesaw of their final writing piece, and now their writing is in the Seesaw canvas. You can encourage students to take this further by using the microphone to add a reflection of their writing process. To record their reflection, they just tap the microphone tool and then can record for up to 5 minutes, which is really great. So now the final writing and the students' thoughts about themselves as a writer are documented in their portfolio for, again, the student, the teacher, and for the connected family members. Students just tap the green check up in the corner and they select the portfolio folder, and now everyone can see their writing. That's why it's important for the teacher to create those folders so that students can easily add to these folders as well. Once a student submits, the folder will appear below and post in the journal. So you'll see right there, you can see that the learning is organized in this way. Students can also use the link tool to publish final projects from other tech tools in Seesaw. Students can either use the green add button and add the link, or you can create an activity for students to respond to and capture the learning from other tools. So after completing a project in Adobe Express or another tech tool like it, students get the published link to their project. Then they tap right there, link. Students paste the URL that they copied from the other tool here, and that's it. The project link will appear in the Seesaw canvas. Students can add a reflection to the canvas if they would like, but otherwise, they just select the green check and then choose which folder, again, which folder that you created to tag this project to. And this is what the shared final project from Adobe Express looks like. You'll see that there's an image. This is the first image from the project, and then the link is attached. So you and the student will just tap on the link and you'll be taken directly to their Adobe Express project. Now, this digital story created in Adobe Express is available in the Student Seesaw portfolio, showcasing all of their work from all of the different tools in one place, which is really awesome. All right, you can also create Seesaw activities with templates for students to share final projects and reflect. So here's an activity a teacher created for students to share their final habitat projects. Students use the photo tool that you see there to take a photo of their project. They use the microphone tool to describe their project and share what they learned, and the label tool to reflect on the research process. Here's another example from a math teacher in the upper grades on how he had his students reflect on their growth. So at the end of every quarter, this teacher had his students look through all of their Seesaw activities from each unit folder in Seesaw. On each page of this reflection activity, students would reflect on where they are in mastering and showing growth towards that specific skill. Students then would take screenshots of the Seesaw activities and show where they are in relation to mastering the particular skill and add these to the correct unit page on the reflection activity. Students then used that label tool to explain why they think they have grown and perhaps exceeded expectations on this unit and concept. So this particular reflection activity has 10 pages, one for each unit and concept covered during quarter 3 in this math class. Remember, in Seesaw, you can create activities with up to 20 pages. So this activity can then be tagged to an overall reflection folder. Many ways to do this in Seesaw. Okay, so we just covered a lot of information. So let's stop and think. Why is it important for students to reflect on their learning? Take a moment to think and then go ahead and head to the chat or unmute to share out. Why is it important for students to reflect on their learning? I know in my class, growth mindset was a big part of our school day. So being able to show how we've grown throughout each trimester or unit is huge. Having students reflect themselves. Patricia said to motivate, get their buy-in for challenges and see their progress, even as small. Absolutely. Tracking those small wins. Let's see, Dominic, build metacognitive strategies and abilities. Oops, I can't see. Allow students to see where they have done well, where they have room for growth, and where they have steadily, yes, over time, improved over time. Checking for individual understanding. I love all of these answers. Ooh, that's a good one, to see if learning objectives have been achieved and who needs more support. That's huge. Awesome, awesome ideas. Being able to verbalize and make the understanding concrete. Yes. All right. To show their progress and who needs support. Absolutely. Showing progress throughout the entire school year. Seesaw makes it super easy to do that. All right. So again, portfolios serve as a way to keep track of student progress, not only each year, but year to year throughout the student's entire school career. So teachers, students, and families are able to access the student portfolios from previous years in Seesaw to view past growth and learning. So I know it's the beginning of the school year. If I have some students, I might want to go back into their previous year of using Seesaw and, see where that student is at in reading. I might want to check their reading level if they have any activities from the previous year. So this is a really great tool. So for teachers to access the student school-wide portfolios, you tap your name in the top left corner. Then just an important note that your school administrator must turn on access to school-wide portfolios in their school settings for teachers to be able to view these. So if you cannot see this, that means your school administrator has not turned this on yet. You will then tap school-wide portfolios at the bottom. And then from here, you'll see all of a list of all students will appear here. You'll scroll until you find the student you're looking for and tap on their name. So this is really cool. From there, you can either scroll through their recent journal posts on the left, or you can select a class that they were in on the right. So this is, you might want to look at what they did in art class in 2021. All of their classes will be shown on the right-hand side. And that's all from previous years. Once you select a class, you can either scroll through their journal from that class on the left, or select a folder on the right to view all work tagged to that folder. So this really allows you as the teacher to take a look at the growth the student made in previous years. You'll see all the classes are over here and all the folders from those classes. Students are also able to view their previous year's portfolio by tapping their name in the upper left-hand corner. Then they'll be able to see, it will say past work at the bottom, and they'll be able to see all of their journals from the archived Seesaw classes. Students will see a list of all of their past classes here. When they tap on one, you'll see that the students have the option to either scroll through their entire journal on the left from that class, or they can tap into those specific folders on the right to view all of their work tagged to one folder. This allows students to easily reflect back on their previous year's growth and learning. All right, so let me jump into my Seesaw account again to show you what this looks like live. So let me go ahead and go back. Oops. All right, so I'm back in my Seesaw account. This is my teacher account. I am going to click on my name in the upper left-hand corner. Once I'm there, I will see where at the very bottom, it says school-wide portfolios. I'll click there. And then I'm going to find a student's name that I want to view. So I might choose Yvonne. And then you'll see here, this shows Yvonne or the student's work year after year here from previous years. I can scroll through this journal view here, or I can go on the side here and then look at specific classes. So maybe I want to go back to her 3rd grade art class. I can click here and view, well, let's click here. She doesn't have anything in here. Seesaw 2020, I'm going to go back and view all of her posts from this specific class that she was in, and I can see all of that here. I might want to go into specific folders. Again, this particular student doesn't have anything in that folder, but if they did, it would show it there. Let's see. So again, you'll click your name, you'll go to school-wide portfolios, and there you'll be able to click on different students' names to see their work. So I'm going to give you all about 7 minutes to explore this. You can jump into your own Seesaw account and let's go back here. And you can practice looking at the year after year portfolios. You'll follow these steps. If you're not able to view this, that means your administrator has not turned this setting on. So this will be a good chance for you to go in and check on that. Awesome. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes and I can jump into the chat and answer some questions as you have 7 minutes to explore. Go ahead. Let me set my timer. Just to point out in the chat, if you don't have access to your Seesaw account, someone put in the chat how to access your account if you click on the link. So make sure you do that if you're not able to log in. Thank you for sending that in the chat. You have about 3 minutes left to explore. You can use this time to, again, add some folders, to be viewing the students' portfolios. But we'll start back up in about 3 minutes. I'll be here if you have any questions. Yes, absolutely. If the administrator does not know how to turn on the portfolio feature, definitely have them reach out to us here at Seesaw. They should have a point of contact here, and we would be happy to show them how to do this in their school-wide settings. Great question, Joseph. Great questions. I feel like a lot of people have asked how to add their classes from this year. Leonard, I know you're the district point of contact. Do you know if this school has added in the most up-to-date classes for this year yet? If your new class is not in there, it might not have been added yet.
I believe the schools are still working on that.
Got it. So hopefully you'll be able to see that in there soon, your new class.
Ya no más. Ya es mucha comida, thank you.
All right. So now that you've had some time to explore, hopefully some of you were able to access the school-wide portfolios. Hopefully some of you were also able to either brainstorm some of the folders you're going to create or actually go in and start creating those in your Seesaw account. Again, if you don't see your classes yet for this year, it sounds like your district is still working on getting all of those set up and running. So hopefully that'll be in your Seesaw account shortly. Let's go ahead and move on. So as we saw today, Seesaw digital portfolios allow students to demonstrate their understanding in multimodal ways to provide you with a deeper understanding of the student's mastery and allows you, the student, and the family members to see growth over time. So you all did it. You learned how to organize learning for a digital portfolio using folders in Seesaw. You learned how to add evidence and reflection of learning with the multimodal tools in Seesaw and how you can see learning year after year with Seesaw's portfolios. So let's go ahead. Before you go, here's your exit ticket. I would love if you would set a goal for yourself, for your class, for using digital portfolios in Seesaw this year. So will you create folders by subject? Think about how you want to organize it. Will you create folders by the time of the year? What will be the cadence that work is added to these folders? So when I was a teacher, I would create these routines. I would write them down so that I knew what I wanted to implement. So go ahead, jot down your goal, tell another teacher, write it in the chat. What is your goal for using Seesaw digital portfolios this year? Maybe you'll figure out which folders you're going to create. Set that goal right now. All right. So with all of these skills we covered, there's still so much more you can do with Seesaw. There's a lot more we'd love to show you. So you will find more free trainings, PDF guides, and more on our training website. I will post it here in the chat. This is a great website to check out for a lot more resources. You can also come to my next session. Let's share out some of your responses on how you're going to use digital portfolios. I will try to create a folders for my students to capture their development over time. Yes, I love that. Ooh, this is a good one. Selena says, organize folders based on the unit plans and themes. That would help you keep super organized. I love that. Sophia, create folders by subject and have students take pictures of their work and record what they have learned from their assignments. Incredible, incredible idea. This really helps teachers and students stay super organized. Kathleen, you said, since I'm not the classroom teacher, I hope that I can get access to K-1 students and be able to support the teacher by sharing projects. Yes, absolutely. You should be able to be added to all of the K-1 classrooms or whoever you support. And from there, you will be able, just as the other teacher, to add in projects, portfolios, anything like that. You will have access to that. Ooh, create folders by subjects and semester. Yes. Develop a process for reflection. That is key. After all major assignments, creating a kind of time capsule of the year's work for the student. I love that. And it's for the student. You could even use that, like what you said, for parent teacher conferences. This was such a time saver for me. I used to have folders just stacked full of work that was not organized in a big manila folder to show the parents at conferences. And it was just a lot of information to go through. So doing it that way, having these folders in Seesaw will make it super, super easy. Awesome. Thank you all for sharing that today. And I've learned stuff from you guys as well. All right, so here is the feedback form provided by your district. Please go ahead and take a minute to complete this. Again, I'm going to share this link in the chat. Share your feedback from today's session. And thank you all for being here. I really enjoyed being with you all today. And I might be seeing some of you in the next session starting in about 8 minutes. So make sure you fill out that feedback form. Awesome. Thank you. If you have any questions, I ended about 4 minutes early, so I'll stick around and answer any helpful questions if you have any. Thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day and a great back to school season. I love what you said, Miana. I don't know if hopefully I said your name right. But I love giving them choice, having them present their learning in a variety of ways, giving them that student choice and voice. I love that.
Hannah, thank you. Can I ask you what the title of this class is? Is it Seesaw of the Green Add Button?
That's next.
Okay, which
next one is the green add button. Today's was digital portfolios in Seesaw.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. I'll see some of you all in the next session.
Hannah, I don't see that on the list. It just, let me see the choices.
Yes, hopefully it's on there.
It is. I just found that it's kind of at the top. Digital
Good.
portfolio with,
okay.
yeah.
Digital portfolios should be on there. Good. Thank you. Thank you all.
There you go. Thank you.
Of course. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Are there any other questions I can help answer today with the rest of you that are on? I know we covered a lot of information, and if you join the next session, we'll be going more into detail about the different activities you can create. Of course, Amber. Yes. Thank you all.
And I have a question. So for all assignments we add in the app button, the students automatically get it, right? Because we assign it to them. And once they complete that, if we choose students and teachers for the portfolio, it automatically gets tagged into that folder, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
You can also, when you're assigning activities and journal posts to students, you can either assign it to all students in the class, you can set up groups of students, or you can assign it to individual students.
So do the students get to see each other's?
Yes, they do get to see each other's.
And was there a button to allow the students to comment also in their assignments?
Yes, in the settings, in your Seesaw settings, you are able to turn that on and off.
Okay.
We're going to go over that in the next green add button in about 5 minutes. If you want to join that session, I go through how to do that.
Okay, thanks, Hannah.
Of course. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Awesome. Thank you all for being here. Have a great rest of your day. And I'm going to go ahead and log out so I can get ready for the next session. Hope to see some of you there. Have a great day. Bye.